Guys, I have to make a confession. Over these past few months, I've had a crippling addiction.
Please, you have to stop this. You have to wake up now.
And the drug is Canada's worst driver.
What are you doing?
Not driving today!
You can take a selfie and post it on social.
The way you drive can only be described as the driving of a horrible person.
Anytime I get away, it's only a matter of time before I get that itch again.
Sometimes I have to have a few beers just to relax and so I can drive, yes. Just a few.
Man, I gotta...
How competent of a driver do you think you are? Sure, maybe you've had a few parking tickets, maybe even a few nasty crashes, but one thing I can tell you for sure, you will never be as bad of a driver as these people.
But I don't know what to do! Why not?
In this show, 8 of Canada's worst drivers must go through driving challenges. If they succeed, they have the chance to graduate and leave the show. Unlike a lot of shows like this, your goal is to actually be allowed to leave and get your license back, a decision granted by a panel of driving instructors. The last person remaining will be dubbed Canada's worst driver.
It's one of many shows in the Worst Drivers series. There's Britain's Worst Drivers.
True to form, she's off to a smashing start.
You're smaller than me, you...
There's Switzerland's Worst Drivers.
Cours, je serai aussi sèche qu'au départ, ça je m'entends vous dire. Aussi sèche. Ah, mon Dieu. Oh, vous êtes un peu mouillé, monsieur Flatule.
Un petit peu ça.
Oh, c'est rigolant. Alors, attends, là.
Mais avant que vous ayez...
Oui, mais comment tu veux que je fasse maintenant pour passer ici? Ouais, à droite. Oh, mon Dieu, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Oh, mais c'est pas vrai. C'est vrai, pilote qui s'énerve.
C'est pas grave, passez sur l'herbe.
Vas-y, moi j'en peux plus. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Attends, là. Faut aller...
And naturally, there's America's Worst Drivers.
I just want to throw this tray of tea right at you.
Kevin, as dead weight, you're doing a fine job.
You know, my dad once told me that.
But out of all of these shows, Canada's Worst was the last one standing, bowing out in 2018. The people on this show this particular season just might be the worst of the worst. So let's take a look at our cast. First one on the list is Tyler.
I have to have a few beers.
Now Tyler is a hit and run specialist.
Sometimes before I go driving, I get really nervous, and I just have to have a few drinks, just to ease my nerves, so I can get behind the wheel.
On your lane, holy...
When I'm driving, I'm usually like this, straight ahead looking, not paying attention, just following what's in front of me,
Last time you drove, you almost sideswiped a whole bunch of old people in another van because you didn't even look. Like pedestrians have a right of way,
yes,
even if they're not in a crosswalk, right?
Yes, Mom. I ain't going to hit nothing, Jan, so save it.
Oh my God.
20 hit and runs in the last year.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like
20 hit and runs in the last year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year, 20.
Before I know it, I hit something, and then I just get out of the way, It's like make sure no one's looking and take off.
How do you get away with it even?
That might be bad enough on its own, but there's one thing Tyler forgets to mention.
Yeah, it's drinking and driving.
Oh, hell yeah, baby, get that man some keys. Look, I get that driving can be stressful. There can be a lot of cars on the road. There can be a lot of moving parts. However, the last place you want to be drunk off your rocker is riding down I-95. It's unclear exactly how much he needs to drink to be ready to go, but if he's drinking a couple of beers each time he steps in the car, buddies could be sauced before the afternoon hits.
You hear him talk, and it's like he's got a little bit of an accent, yeah, sounds a little drunkish, you know?
Words
Exactly, right? It sounds like, you know, two tall boys in.
Now, that's just one of the contestants. Next up is Daniela. And she's, well...
What again?
Now?
Right?
Now?
Yes!
There's a silver car! Now? Now?
Yes! Get in the lane! Signal left. You want to get into the next
Now?
lane? Yes!
She's just incapable of doing anything on the road by herself. It's honestly impressive how little she understands about the road. Despite being in a car, Daniela primarily has everyone around her just drive her around. She even works from home to avoid having to drive herself anywhere. Overall, she's just a nervous wreck.
Next up is Diana.
Peace and freedom! Woo!
And she's a lot more spiritual with her reckless driving habits.
Dear God, we call upon you now for the highest, most sacred spiritual energies to be with us.
I think her spirituality affects her driving because she thinks that the laws of the karmic universe will guide her to being a good driver and not the rules of the road.
Diana reads scripture, burns incense in her car, and even draws symbols of protection on her car while driving. No, not while the car is parked, while she is driving.
This is body art pens. This is called Shoku Rei. And as a healer, we will imaginarily draw it with a wand or with our index finger to show the point of activation for our energy.
She's totaled 5 cars and still hasn't really realized what her issue is.
I just discovered consciousness when I was 22, and the experience of this consciousness was that they know what I'm thinking.
Now that we've gained some spiritual enlightenment, let's see who our next contestant is.
Was unaware the railing was there.
Years ago, while traveling 100 kilometers an hour on the highway, another driver fell asleep at the wheel and hit Mike head on.
Are you able to react quickly enough when something happens that needs a quick reaction?
Repetition of potential problems if...
Look, I'm just gonna call it like I see it. Mike should probably not have his license in his current state. And it's really not even his fault.
Person coming to Renfrew area fell asleep at the wheel, bounced off of a vehicle and bounced into me head on, colliding with my car and my girlfriend, my date at the time.
Which was me, now your lovely wife.
Which is my wife in the background.
After that accident, he didn't just need to relearn how to drive, he needed to relearn how to walk, talk, and eat. Now his main issue is just not being able to process things quickly enough on the road. And that has resulted in a lot of hit and runs.
Completely did not know how far I was.
Yeah, normally you don't stop until you hit the You're getting close to the edge of the hill there. You're gonna hit it.
Was it a cement wall?
Yeah. He's hit a building, guardrails, a culvert. We have it duct taped on right now to keep it in place until we can afford to get it fixed.
He has a really good arc throughout the show and even really improves from where he was when he started, but still.
Anyways, next on the list is Cody.
I would love to be a stunt driver. Jesus! I love the rush of driving, breaking the limits of the road. I like to drive fast, I like to have fun. Got my license back 2 months ago after having it gone for 3.5 years. Ooh, jeez, people. Just walking across in the middle of the street.
Cody is just the definition of a reckless driver. Maybe one tier below those guys on YouTube who just weave through congested traffic, but still, it's not great company to be in.
You know, I don't really like waiting for traffic. You know, if you got a big truck, you can just drive through the ditch. Don't go past all the traffic. You We don't have to always stick to pavement.
One other thing about Cody is that he drifts around literally every corner he makes.
That he likes to spin out around corners.
One time I was drifting down a road and just flipped the car onto its side.
Our next contestant is Lou.
I'm done.
Sure.
I was 40 when I got my license.
Lou is a bit of an interesting case. For one, she's had her driver's permit for over 15 years. No, not her license, her permit.
I've only driven by myself maybe 5 or 6 times, and just to go to the store, which is...
Oh, that's okay.
Did I hit something?
Yeah, the curb, but it's okay.
Oh, how do I get out of this?
You just go
How
forward.
Okay.
You'll roll back off of it.
Okay, that scared me. I don't like this.
I would steer straight forward for a bit, though.
I don't like this.
How is that possible? I don't know. How did she even get her permit in the first place? I'm not sure. On the official wiki, it says that she had only driven 4 times alone before the show. So there's a lot of things that just don't add up. She gets overwhelmed when she's alone in the car, whether she's on the highway or just in an empty parking lot.
Lou is so scared of driving alone.
Now I don't know what to do.
Even an empty parking lot overwhelms her.
I don't know what to do.
Get out of my way! And Rimder is another one of our generally reckless drivers. He learned how to drive in India, and after moving to Canada, he also brought over a different mentality about driving.
Okay, what the hell? That's not 8. Careful, man. What type of 8 is that?
What the f? I am pretty fast in driving. I drive really fast. Get out of my way. Just get out of my way. You drive slow, drive in the right lane. Don't mind it.
He has little awareness of the actual rules of driving in Canada, and even caused a 3-car pileup in his friend's brand new car. So we have reckless drivers, drunk drivers, drivers too afraid to drive, and drivers with physical head trauma on the roster. Surely there couldn't be a worse driver on this roster, right? Right?
I think the car is broken.
Nobody will get in the car with you.
How come? Nobody ever taught me how to drive, which is, I think, my problem. Like, I don't really know what the signs mean. I don't even know how I passed my test.
What did no, just what? Oh! But you can't turn right on red. You can't turn.
It's right on a red light. That's the friggin' rule. I don't know who's got the right of way. Right away, I don't even know that. Don't even talk to me about the right of way. I'm just gonna go, and we're gonna pray for the best.
Crystal is just a uniquely irritating personality.
I cannot reverse, period. Exclamation point, period, exclamation point. I gotta back in. I can't back in.
Just try a little bit. Make it
no,
slow.
I can't do that.
Just try.
Too tight.
Crystal's bio shoots started the way they always do.
That's a red light. What are you
I was
doing?
already in the road.
With our cameraman tailing in a follow car so he could capture some exteriors of her bad driving.
Blowing through the red light. Fuck it.
At the risk of sounding like a boomer, one of her biggest problems is that damn phone.
When our crew called Crystal the most dangerous nominee we've ever had,
Oh God, get the f out of my way.
they were dead right.
Crystal.
Hey!
Oh my God. The cameraman didn't want to drive with you because of this.
Every time Crystal starts moving from a stationary position,
Okay, I'm sorry. We have to go back to that little second there, right? She first looks at her phone, right? Hey, check this out, right? Puts it away, okay? Looks up, sees that it's time to go, looks back down, presses the gas, looks back down, and you can see the car move forward. She presses the gas.
One last look. While not
looking at the road. Bro, how could you, how?
He even claims to send over hundreds of texts and selfies every day. Who in the world do you even talk to that much? What is so important that you can't get to your destination first? Sorry. I know the video just got started.
They said I'm not getting in the car with you. 70 and a 40.
Drives on a sidewalk.
It's okay, I'll get off the sidewalk.
Why is she going so fast?
sends-
Who are you texting?
Into tears.
I'm not the worst driver.
She's all crying. Then she gets on the road. She's fucking aggressive ass driver.
Drive with you.
She is constantly texting behind the wheel. So much so that she's just taking small glances at the road while fully entranced in her phone. It just seems like Crystal, for the life of her, can't take any accountability when she's on the road. The second she does something absolutely idiotic on the show, she immediately follows up with some weak validation. Her driving was so bad that the camera crew refused to drive with her.
Nobody will get in the car with you.
How come?
And honestly, that says a lot coming from cameraman on a show called Canada's Worst Driver.
Wait, what?
What are you doing?
I'm getting out of the way.
Already out of its
Yeah,
way.
you were already. What, like?
Drives right into somebody's yard. She did that on purpose too. It's not even like she spun out or anything. She
Yeah,
literally-
and like the truck isn't even going any further.
literally a road, you know, like not someone's driveway.
It's creatively frustrating.
I'm walking out there with extreme
Yeah, like what the
anger.
hell is wrong with you? Like, why are you so panicked?
Be like, get the fuck out of my driveway! Now that we've got our contestants lined up, it's time to find out who is Canada's worst driver.
New York City, you listen to me. If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason.
Now, in each episode, they try to help each person through a training course to test their skill. And then there's a big sexy challenge at the end of the episode. We're gonna skip through some of the less impactful events where nothing too significant happens, but with introductions out of the way, let's see just who will become Canada's worst driver. The first challenge is simply getting to the driver's rehabilitation center, and most of them can hardly do that. Tyler immediately gets lost.
You know, I think we're lost, babe.
Daniela is so afraid of the highway that she gets her sister to take over.
Yes. Now. One mover. Now. Now.
And Diana is trying to summon Exodia behind the wheel.
I summon Exodia!
Full power! It is truly a mystery how these people get their license in the first place.
Only driven by myself maybe 5 or 6 times.
Amrinder, Mike, and Cody make it there with relatively little issue, although Amrinder texts on his phone the whole way through.
Yo!
Yeah, that's one of his vices, just like Crystal. Crystal, however, just tears up the instructions to the rehab center and makes as many illegal maneuvers as she can, including driving across double yellows to pass someone, driving off-road to pass someone, running through stop signs, and a grand total of 107 ticketable offenses on this drive alone. How does someone go on driving like this time and time again and not realize what they're doing is wrong?
The way you drive can only be described as the driving of a horrible person.
Next, our contestants face the assessment challenge. In this challenge, they have to reverse down a row of obstacles, get through this concrete barrier using 3-point turns, and finally weave between foam figures at 30 miles per hour. So how do our contestants do? Well, Crystal just fails at every section. She can't reverse, she can't do the 3-point turn, she can't dodge the pedestrians. We're only on the second challenge and I'm not really surprised anymore. To be fair though, I would say this challenge would be pretty hard to complete. Cody's the only one who actually completes all 3 challenges. One thing I especially like about this challenge is the weaving between foam figures challenge. Whenever a contestant hits someone, you can really tell that it makes them realize how dangerous their driving habits can be.
I give up. I don't want to do this anymore.
Afterwards, we are introduced to the panel of judges. They determine who gets off the show and gets their license back. Our panel includes 3 driving instructors and 1 psychotherapist to help the contestants on a deeper level. Each episode, it's honestly hilarious to watch these experts try and find anyone who actually deserves to get their license back.
I think she's going to be Canada's worst driver now.
Their next challenge is simple. Drive up on position rails and then reverse. Cody, Mike, and Amrinder make it through with little to no issues. Daniela, as usual, panics behind the wheel and fails. Diana, Crystal, and Lou manage to make it up but fail on the reverse. Tyler, however, can't even get up on the ramp in the first place.
After that little warm-up, the contestants will go head-to-head in another reversing challenge. This time, they have to reverse all the way down a row of obstacles and then turn around and reverse all the way back. Daniela and Lou go against each other in this challenge, and Daniela absolutely laps Lou, going through the course 4 times before Lou could even complete it once. Lou just always seems to be a little too nervous to actually do anything behind the wheel. Diana goes against Tyler and beats him while only bumping into something once. Mike and Cody go against each other, but before they do, they have a sit down where Mike shares the severity of his injuries with Cody.
I was in a coma for 7 weeks. I had to relearn how to talk, walk, eat, sleep, everything.
Sorry to hear that.
Don't have to be sorry, man. I'm living.
You can tell this really has an impact on Cody, realizing how reckless driving can affect people.
No, I'm gonna change my ways so that something like this doesn't happen to anyone again.
Cody has fallen asleep at the wheel at high speeds before, which is exactly how Mike received his brain injury, from someone asleep at the wheel. Honestly though, they kind of lay it on a little thick on Cody. At one point during the conversation, Mike even says,
For me personally, you're the guy that killed me.
Which for me is a bit much, especially since we have a literal drunk driver and a habitual texting driver on the roster. Cody, compared to everyone else, is a good driver, but really reckless. This is a conversation that nearly everyone needed to hear, not just Cody. Despite this, they both fail at the reversing challenge. Crystal is actually the only one to get through the course without hitting anything. Honestly, A+.
Now, after a little bit of training from the instructors, the contestants move on to the shoulder check challenge. In this challenge, they must check their left and right shoulders for either a red or a green sign. After doing so, the driver must look ahead and turn towards the green sign. They need to do all this while maintaining a speed of around 45 miles per hour. Do you think you could do it? I would honestly hesitate. How do our contestants do? Well, poorly. Cody, Diana, and Amrinder do fine on the course. But Mike, Lou, and Tyler all fail, but they just barely clip the side before they turn.
Ah, that was a epic fail.
Daniela really struggles with this one. On her first attempt, she slams on the brakes before she even gets a chance to turn.
I didn't want to look.
Then on the retry, she again panics and slams into the wall.
But I don't know what to do! Why not?
One thing about Daniela is that it seems like her brain just shuts off once she reaches 40 miles an hour. She's just terrified of high speeds. It's almost like the idea of going that fast is scarier to her than actually doing it. It's like she's completely calm until she sees that she's going fast, and then she just shuts down.
However, she wasn't the worst one to do this course. Crystal won't even look up from her phone to let Andrew show her the course.
Okay, 1
This is
second.
why we shouldn't
Just
bother
1
talking
second.
about this.
Hello?
And the results are as follows.
You do understand, or should I text it to you?
I'm not texting while I'm doing the activity. Thanks, Andrew. Nagging me. You're like my mother.
Text until it's time to go?
Done, Andrew. I'm ready.
Whoa, here she comes, and she sounds fast.
This is so easy. Okay. Red, and it's, I don't know what the Oh.
Wow.
It's not even a big deal. Like, that would never happen in real life.
What? You just told me before it happened that you understood the concept.
I told you that someone slammed on their brakes and they hit their car. That happens.
Holy crap, you think that...
Are you okay? Relax. It's not a big deal.
They do end up giving her 2 more tries, and eventually she gets it, but the host did have to bribe her to get her motivated enough. But hey, if it works, it works.
Hands on the wheel! Hands on the wheel, not you,
Oh,
Andrew.
yeah.
Thank you, Andrew, for teaching my sister how to drive.
No, you didn't teach me.
Now, we finally get to see who is the first to graduate. Mike and Render, Lou, Tyler, and Danielle all say that they don't want to graduate.
Oh, I do not want to graduate. I want to come back next season.
Next week?
No, next year. Next
year?
Whatever Canada's Worst Drivers is on next, I want to be here too.
Crystal, on the other hand.
So in my time here, Andrew's called me selfish,
That's true.
a horrible person,
In the context of as a driver, and I stand behind that.
bad driver, escalated to terrible driver.
Yes.
Also probably referred to as worst driver according to Andrew.
Correct.
Idiot, and
Yes.
variations such as dumb, stupid.
Correct,
Crack addict.
No, I said your addiction to your phone likened you to a crack addict, just as I didn't say you are an idiot. I said the way you're driving in this situation is idiotic. I did say all of those things, and I would stand behind all of them. You throw in one, Shamla. What do you see?
I actually agree with Andrew because it was quite frustrating.
Now, I feel like there's a million things I could say here, but let's just take a look at the difference between, well, that and how Cody leaves the show.
I'm the idiot that could put someone in jeopardy. And right there, that kind of sunk in, and I haven't stopped thinking about that.
Cody is just being earnest and rational about his situation. He knows that his actions on the road are unacceptable and they need to change. Now, that's the attitude you want from someone after a show like this. The council recognized this and decided he should be the first to graduate.
And here's your license back.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cody was an interesting case on this show because he's the best driver out of the group. Drifting around corners and things of that nature still take a good amount of skill to do. I mean, if you asked Daniela to do a burnout, she would turn to Ash at the request. Ultimately, all he needed to do was take driving more seriously, and that's exactly what he did. As he's leaving, though, they do give him a little mic air freshener to always remind him to stay safe.
I want you to keep this on your rearview mirror at all times, okay?
You're the guy that killed me. You're the guy that killed me. You're the guy that killed me. You're the guy.
Never forget. You did this to me, Cody. So 1 down and 7 to go. Who will leave next? Let's find out next time on Canada's Worst Drivers Z.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together. This is it.
On the next challenge, our contestants are tasked with reversing all the way around a figure 8 pattern in this old van. And okay, let's be real. This challenge isn't particularly interesting. Everyone except in Render fails this challenge. Crystal even punctures one of the tires on a run.
See, that's not a crawl, Crystal. That's not going in a crawl.
There's one big thing that happens in this challenge, though. Tyler finally confesses his drinking and driving secret to the rest of the cast.
I drink and drive sometimes. Not all the time, but I do.
The cast goes on to share their stories of people who they have lost to drunk drivers, and you can tell this kind of helps them realize how dumb his choices have been up to this point in the show, it really does seem to help him. I just still think he should have been included with that talk with Cody and Mike earlier in the season. I can't believe I have to say this, but an adult should already know not to drink and drive.
Now, the challenge they have set up next is a little weird. This one is called the water tank test. The contestants are tasked with driving through an obstacle course with a bucket of water held above their heads. Naturally, all of them fail pretty much instantly. I mean, wouldn't you? Even the host, Andrew, really struggles with this course, but it was still pretty funny watching all of them act like they weren't expecting to get drenched.
This next challenge is actually my personal favorite of the show, and it's the Eye of the Needle challenge. In this one, the drivers have to maintain 40 miles per hour while driving through these small hoops. Diana makes it through with no issues. Everyone else though, Mike, Amrinder, Lou, Crystal, and Daniela all slam into the barrier. It seems like after the first barrier, everyone just starts to accelerate through this turn. This is especially true for Tyler. Bro gets through the first arch and gets up to 45 miles per hour.
Are you okay?
I think I need to get out of the car.
Why?
I gotta get out.
Yeah, it's safe to say that didn't go too well. Now, who do you think is ready to graduate from this episode? Well, Amrinder and Diana feel like they're ready to leave the show, and for the most part, the council agrees. Crystal is also looking to graduate and only shows why she's still there in the first place.
Yeah, and the only person that I'm really getting anything from is Philippe, and I think he's already taught me anything that he can, and I
think he's taught you everything he can?
I don't think there's anything else that he could show me that I wouldn't already know. Don't laugh.
Crystal just has this presence about her that just radiates arrogance. If you're on the show called Canada's Worst Driver and have failed the last 3 challenges, you would think it would instill a bit of humility. Throughout all of this, she has remained convinced that she doesn't have any issues behind the wheel. But hey, for now, it's Amrinder who finally gets his license back and can go home.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir. Here's your license back.
Also, a little side note here, Crystal actually bet Amrinder that she would leave before he did.
And here's your 20 bucks.
You lost a bet?
Yep.
No, she lost the
Who did you bet on?
I was going home before him.
She actually had a good chance of beating him if she didn't decide to use that damn phone. God, I feel like a boomer just saying that.
Amrinder was just another reckless driver out of the bunch. He was way too comfortable weaving in and out of traffic. But just like Cody, it didn't mean that he was bad at driving. Amrinder just needed to be realigned, and so he could be more of a defensive driver. It's at this point in the show that the rest of the contestants meet with the show's therapists to get a better understanding of their more personal issues. First up is Tyler, and his interview was a little aggravating to me.
What do you think gets in the way of you driving safely, Tyler?
Stress.
And what do you do to manage your stress?
What do you want me to say?
Tyler, at this point in the show, has been told over and over again that his drinking and driving is absolutely unacceptable. Even later in this very discussion, his wife mentions that she and their child left Tyler for 4 months as a result of his drinking and driving.
Leave rehab, and Tyler continues to drive under the influence.
That's it.
You'll leave?
Absolutely.
After all that, he still comes into this discussion unaware that his drinking is the primary issue. He does commit to not drinking and driving anymore by the end of this discussion, but damn, how many wake-up calls do you need, Tyler?
They discuss Diana's distractions behind the wheel, Lou's anxiety behind the wheel, Danielle's struggles with independence, and Mike's, well, brain injury. They also talk about Crystal and her phone use. That goes about as well as you'd expect it to.
My concern is that you will kill somebody.
I understand that that's your concern.
But you're not concerned about it.
No. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not concerned about it. I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'll look at my phone, and then I'll look at the road, and then I'll look at my phone, and then I'll look at the road.
But it only takes 2 seconds for a kid to jump out.
Like, as soon as I hear criticism, it's like my ears turn off.
Yeah, anyways, let's look at the next challenge. Now, every single one of these people has a problem with distracted driving. It's pretty self-explanatory why you shouldn't drive distracted. But these drivers simply can't comprehend that fact. In this challenge, our drivers must maneuver around a circular track while driving as they usually would, distractions and all. Diana reads the Quran and messes with tarot cards.
Promises, dear friends, we must cleanse ourselves.
Mike smokes cigarette and Crystal. Can you guess what Crystal does? Can you? Can you? Yeah, that's right. She fucking texts on her phone. Exactly, yeah. No, but I do want to stop on Diana for a second here, because all things considered, smoking and texting are pretty common distractions. But reading? Burning incense?
Whoa.
Diana has no interest in learning this lesson.
Lord, tell me what they need to know so I can get this done and over with.
How has she managed going on so long without realizing that doing all that was a dumb idea? You're telling me that she's been in 4 car crashes and didn't think anything was wrong? It's like eventually she just gave up on trying to be a good driver and figured she could just manifest it. This challenge actually opens her eyes to this fact though, so at the very least, she's starting to learn. Now that was a level of delusion that is unbelievable to most, but as you guys know now, there's always one person on this show who takes it to another level.
Text me. My phone number is 647
647.
624.
Oh my God, I hate him already.
I'm like, what did he say? Fuck me?
Why do I always hit something?
Oh.
Because I turned the wheel too wrong, because I don't know how to turn a wheel, not because I can't text and drive.
What do you get when you try to help someone who is the source of their own pain? Exhaustion and frustration. This next challenge is called the Swerve and Avoid Challenge. In this challenge, a person must drive at 40 miles per hour and swerve to the left or right. An obstacle will appear on either side and the driver must react and swerve to the correct side. Mike got it on the first try, while Lou, Diana, and Crystal got it on the second attempt.
Is clear. Whoa, here you go. Okay, you're going right away. That's not 70. That's not even close to 70. That's not even close to 70.
Daniela and Tyler, on the other hand, fail both attempts, with Daniela's brain completely shutting down the second she goes over 70 kilometers per hour.
60, 70. I'm at 70. I'm at 70! Ah!
Now, after that excellent display of driving talent and excellence, it's time for the judges to choose who gets to leave. Most of the contestants still want to stay on the show. Diana and, of course, Crystal. Diana renounces her previous distracting driving habits, and it really puts her in the good graces of the judges. Crystal, on the other hand, takes the literal worst approach possible.
I'm not gonna stand here and lie to you and say that I'm not gonna text and drive. I am. Everybody texts and drives. Like, it's not just me.
What do we expect, though? How the hell did you think this was a good idea, Crystal? Did you really think that you were about to go up to 3 driving instructors and a therapist, tell them you're not gonna change your destructive habits, and be let go? You can even tell by the look on all the judges' faces that they are dumbfounded by the audacity of this lady. Obviously, the judges are like, no, you clearly haven't learned anything. And our host, Andrew, rage baits her until she storms out of the room.
Why so angry?
You piss me off.
I don't buy that for a second. What I'm wondering is actually why you're so angry.
You literally
No,
make
it's
me
not
feel...
me. It's got nothing to do with me.
I'm reckless and I drive fast, and real driving bores me.
Okay, and that takes me back to what I said to you on day one, that I think only a horrible person would actually understand that they're reckless and then go out and endanger lives intentionally.
When I told you called me a horrible person, you actually said, no, I said your driving makes you a horrible person.
It does.
You just called me a horrible person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think anybody that goes out in public and intentionally drives recklessly is
yourself.
horrible.
I'm done.
But after all that hoopla, the judges ultimately decide that Diana should be the one to graduate. Diana did a lot of strange things behind the wheel. Things that you really shouldn't need 5 car accidents in a TV show to realize. But she was open to change, she admitted when she was wrong, and as a result, she got to graduate.
So our remaining contestants are Mike, Daniela, Tyler, Lou, and Crystal. This upcoming challenge is probably the hardest one yet. The J-turn challenge. In this challenge, the contestants have to perform a handbrake turn or a J-turn without, completely flipping the whole damn car over. Now, I have to be honest. I can't say that I've ever done a J-turn before. So I'd imagine that Canada's worst drivers are gonna have the same problems. After they all receive a quick training lesson, it's time for them to give it a shot. They actually don't do too bad. Lou and Tyler can't seem to stay on course, but Daniela, Mike, and Crystal figure it out on their first or second try. Daniela also does her whole blacking out during intense situations thing, so she doesn't even remember how she did it.
It's like I black out almost, like I don't even remember.
I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it in the video, but how did she get her license then? How? Fun fact though, it actually turns out that a lot of the drivers on the show, and in past actually, have had their licenses reevaluated after the release of the show, which is really funny to me because it was like suddenly it dawned on them somewhere in Canada that it makes their whole department look like a joke that these people are out there on the road.
Moving on to the panel for this episode, they ultimately have only one option. Daniela completed the challenge but blacked out. Lou and Tyler both failed, so they're out. And Crystal, well, is Crystal. So that leaves Mike as the only one who will graduate this time. But there's only one problem. Mike doesn't want to graduate.
I don't want to graduate, but if you guys say get the hell out, I'm gone.
In fact, nobody wants to graduate this episode.
No, I'm still learning things.
No.
Even Crystal actually begins to understand that she's a bad driver.
I'm not a good enough driver.
How long have you known that and been resisting saying it? Do you only know that you're a bad driver now?
Yes.
Who taught you to drive?
Nobody.
Oh, see, now things are starting to make sense. I will say that it's good she was able to acknowledge that. It's really good to see some change happen in Crystal after all of this time. That does raise the question, if you've never been taught to drive, what made you think you were such a great driver? But hey, maybe this means Crystal is turning over a new leaf.
I'm not driving today!
Anyway, it's time to decide who will leave. And in the end, they decide that no one will leave this episode because all the judges on the panel chose Mike, and Mike doesn't want to leave yet because, in case you remember, he literally has a brain injury. Now, whether Mike's brain injury is bad enough to the point where he shouldn't drive is not our decision to make. I'm not a doctor, and if you're watching this video, neither are you. We can only go off of personal opinion here. Let's just let it be known, though, that the judges would rather graduate someone with severe brain trauma over everyone else that's left over. After Mike's gone, the judges are going to have to draw straws and just release one disastrous driver after another.
For our next challenge, the contestants are tasked with estimating their speed without looking at the speedometer. They must accelerate from 30 to 50 to 70 kilometers per hour. Or for all of our freedom-loving friends, that's 18 miles, 13 miles, and 43 miles per hour.
What the fuck?
But before the challenge can even begin, Crystal does what she does best.
The drama over nothing is actually tiring.
Okay, well then see you later.
Come here.
No!
We're to drive instead.
No,
Come
I'm
here.
not doing it. I'm not driving today!
Once they finally reel her back into the RV, it's apparent Crystal has no perception of her speed. In each zone, she goes over nearly double the requested speed limit. Tyler is also way faster than the expected speed limit, but Lou and Mike are slow, way under the speed limit. Out of everyone, it's actually Daniela who has a good understanding of her speed. So, good job, Daniela. I mean, to be fair, if you're going to freak out at 70, you got to know you're at 70, right? Before we move to the biggest challenge of this episode, Tyler asked the crew if they could include a trailer course training. And of course, the team happily obliges.
You want a trailer course?
Yes, sir, I want a trailer course.
It's really great to see Tyler taking advantage of learning opportunities. You can genuinely tell he wants to be a better driver. You just gotta respect it. Now, it's time for the most dangerous challenge of this episode. Welcome to the Slip and Slide Challenge. This time around, our contestants must take a left turn on a simulated icy road. They're back in the Mustang for this challenge, and man, this car has been through some trauma. I'm surprised it's even starting up at this point. To be fair, this challenge seems really hard for anyone, let alone Canada's worst drivers. Long story short, all the contestants fail, with one glaring exception. Against all the odds, Lou passes through the corner with no incidents. Not only that, but on her very first try. So who's actually gonna graduate this episode? Well, at this point, that's a really tough question. For one, all the contestants are pretty discouraged. Mike doesn't want to graduate, but he doesn't think he's the worst. Crystal has become somewhat content with at least being the second worst driver. Lou still has some serious problems with getting overwhelmed by just being in a car. And Tyler is failing every single challenge despite being completely sober.
I would kill somebody if I did. I would probably black out and kill somebody.
So no one wants to leave and no one's really good enough to leave. But the producer of the show, he's been looking at his watch for a while now. Someone has to go. Eventually, they decide to go with Mike.
Graduate this week?
And no, it's not gonna be me.
Hell no, it's gonna be the person who deserves it, which, Mike, is you. It is.
This part is kind of funny because Mike obviously doesn't want to leave yet, so they kind of tell him that he's welcome to stay while at the same time handing him his keys and sending him on his way. Mike has really been a highlight on the show. Out of everyone here, he's the least at fault for how he drives. He really pushes the limits of what a little driver's ed TV show is actually able to help with. It's a TV show at the end of the day, and while Mike has shown significant progress throughout the show, there's only so much they can do. With continued therapy and from someone more trained, Mike should have no problems on the road. His dynamic with Cody earlier in the episode was really interesting because it really seemed like Mike kind of projected his experiences with reckless drivers onto Cody. Aside from that, he kind of always seemed like the adult in the room, compared to everyone else here. So, good luck out there, Mike. Stay safe on the roads.
Haven't I suffered enough?
We'll draw straws.
No.
After a few less interesting events, we get a bit more information about Tyler. He's been kind of an outlier for a while now. Even though he swore off drunk driving, he's still having a lot of trouble on the road. Well, it turns out that Tyler was previously in a car accident with a garbage truck.
I believe his nervousness comes from his accident 14 years ago where he was T-boned by a garbage truck.
Right here is where I got it. You know, it's just coming up this way, you know. Buddy's coming out like that, and he just blew that stop sign and T-boned me right here. This is where it all went down. My injuries were like I got a crushed ankle and I got stitches in the back of my head.
And it caused short-term memory loss. So he has brain damage from it.
This would explain a lot about Tyler's constant failure throughout the show. Drinking and driving wasn't his main issue. If anything, it's likely a way for him to cope with being back on the road. That doesn't mean his drinking and driving is excused, but it definitely adds some context. It puts him slightly closer to Mike's situation rather than someone who's blatantly ignorant like Diana or Crystal was in earlier episodes.
Our next challenge is the reverse J-turn challenge. That's right. The most incompetent drivers in Canada are about to try a reverse J-turn. I gotta say, I don't even think I could do this. The skill level of these challenges are really varied from episode to episode. I definitely get why these guys would be frustrated. So, how does everyone do? Well, actually pretty well. I mean, sure, it takes everyone a few tries, but everyone eventually passes. We absolutely love to see it. Great job, great job, great job. Next up, our contestants must weave between foam figures. This is a repeat challenge from episode 1, but the only difference is that they ask if they'd like to shorten the gaps between the figures. Daniela is close to passing, but slams into the last figure. Crystal relapses into her old texting ways, and Andrew absolutely lays into her. Even the host has had enough.
Why do you think I'm saying, Crystal, you're killing me?
I got no clue.
Maybe I should text you the answer.
What, do you got eyes everywhere?
Crystal, you told me that you don't lie, and you told me that you will never again text in a moving vehicle, only if you're stopped. Now you're driving one of our cars while our crew are walking around, and you're looking at your phone.
I'm sorry.
That's a lie. I don't think you're sorry at all. I think if you were given an opportunity again, you'd immediately go back to texting and driving. Please stop that. It's dangerous. Nothing you're texting is that urgent.
You, Andrew.
Once you think she's turned over a new leaf, she goes right back to those old habits. Like in this challenge, she gets way too overconfident and almost flips the car over. It's just frustrating to watch. Tyler and Lou, though, pass with flying colors. So now it's time to decide who graduate. Daniela and Crystal failed the challenge, so they're out. But Lou and Tyler did really well, and so it's between the two of them. The judges panel is ultimately split, so it's up to Andrew to decide who's going to leave this episode. And it ends up being Lou who graduates.
Oh, man. Lou, you know you're the graduate. You're it. Here's your driver's license back.
Lou was constantly shutting down in the most mild situations, but at the end of the day, all she needed was a bit more confidence. The environment was honestly perfect for her to just get a good feel of how to drive and know when you're in danger. Although it doesn't seem like she was fully ready to be out there on the road again, she's much better than anyone who was left. And now there were only 3: Tyler, Crystal, and Danielle. And only one of them can be Canada's worst driver. There's 1 training course and 2 challenges left. Since this is the last episode, we're gonna go through all 3.
The training course for this episode is one they just can't help but end off on. It's the Weave Through Foam Figures training course. For this one in particular, they have to drive all the way up and reverse all the way back down the course under a certain time limit. They all sit in the car together for this one. The first one up is Tyler. Now, although it takes him 10 attempts to complete this one, it's primarily because of his time and not because he ran into any figures. Overall, not completely horrible. Next one up is Daniela. Now, don't be surprised by this, but Daniela really doesn't do too well either. Actually, a lot worse. And Crystal is letting her know it. Now, I don't know if they just cut something in particular that Crystal said to Daniela, or just collective frustration for Crystal being the way that she is. Whichever it is, everyone is getting pissed at Crystal. Tyler opts to even switch seats with Crystal so he can give more positive support to Daniela. Tyler's wife even gets involved to stand up for Daniela.
I don't want to hear anybody laughing at Daniela.
Why don't you shut the up? Yeah, why don't you shut the up?
You can really tell just how tired everyone is of Crystal's crap all the time. Even when she's not driving, she is constantly making enemies of everyone around her. Then they make her get out of the car so the others can focus. Anyways, the second Crystal gets out the car, Daniela starts making progress and eventually making it through the foam figures in time. For Crystal, no one wants to even be in the car with her. In fact, no one even wants to watch. Not even her brother wants to watch because she just kept arguing with him. So, Andrew hops in the car with her for the attempts. As much crap as she was giving Daniela, Crystal can't actually get through a clean run at it all and just fails. Crystal is truly the biggest stone thrower living in a glass mansion. Well, it's time for the actual challenges of this episode. The first of which is a combination of all the different courses they have done in the past. This one is called the Mega Challenge. And man, it's a lot. They have to drive through the tight loops from the Eye of the Needle challenge, dodge a few foam figures, slowly drive down a line of old rims, do a 3-point turn around a concrete barrier, do a reverse J-turn, and take a hard left turn on an icy road. Tyler's the first one up. He absolutely kills it, blowing through each section and only knocking something over once in the line of rims section. It's just awesome to see that all the events and training they do actually have improved their skills, especially when it comes to Tyler. It's noticeable how much effort he puts in, and it's good to see it actually pay off. Next, it's Crystal's turn. She actually does pretty well too, all up until the icy left corner.
Brake. No, I steered too much. You jinxed it.
But overall, not too bad. Daniela, though, again, really struggles. She manages to hit something on each section of the course, even knocking off the rear bumper in one challenge. Oh! It's just hard to watch. Daniela has gotten better, but still not great.
So here we are, the final challenge. What could possibly be harder than everything you've already done before? How about driving on public roads? Since that Mustang is far from roadworthy at this point, our contestants are driving in a 2015 Corvette. Surely this will be fine, right? Tyler is up first, and man, does he make driving look hard. He runs not one, but 2 stoplights, and then, while trying to get off the highway, he almost slams into the bullnose.
Okay, whoa.
In this challenge, they count up the total number of infractions on the road, and Tyler made 6 in like an hour's worth of driving. On Daniela's attempt, she actually does okay until she gets on the highway. Then she starts to default to her old habit.
Fine, you're breathing, right?
Yeah.
Wait for me.
I don't know what these people are gonna do too, though.
That's why I want you to look
I
around.
need to get off. I just want them to go around me. Can I go now? Can I go now?
You.
What am I supposed to do?
The highway is like her kryptonite. She just can't stand being around it. You know, it really hurts to see people go back to these old habits after all this time we've spent with these characters. That is especially true in Crystal's case.
Why does she still have her cell phone? I mean, this is unbelievable.
You gotta stop at the stop signs, right? This is like a first test.
This is driver's test?
Yes. Look up, look up.
I did not run a red light.
Oh my God, I didn't run a red light.
Trying to get back to that point, she attempts an ill-advised U-turn.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I hate curbs.
I dented the rim.
Crystal pulls over so she can take a selfie and post it on social.
You can hardly tell she's been to multiple weeks of training courses. She's also casually drops to the crew that she street races in her hometown.
I just want to race him.
Do you street race at home sometimes?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
The same lady who constantly whines on this show about never being taught how to drive, most of her driving knowledge has come from bumper cars and Mario Kart. But don't worry, we haven't even seen her drive in the city yet.
Slow
I am slow.
down. Slow down.
I am slow!
Stop.
It gets so bad that Andrew demands to be let out of the car.
You go yourself. I'm done.
Where are you going?
I'm done. But I'm done. That last corner and being yelled at, I'm done.
Even the host is finally fed up with their crap. Andrew, the entire season, although provoking her at times, has always been trying to help. You have to respect that because she really makes every effort to piss everyone off around her.
You are your own worst enemy.
You know, everybody's their own worst enemy.
Now, at this point in the show, everyone knows who the worst driver is, but the whole cast is in this bummed out state. Everyone kind of feels like they failed her. Out of all the heinous drivers there have been, from reckless drivers to brain damaged drivers to drunk brain damaged drivers, from crippling anxieties to just praying to be a good driver instead of driving, out of all of our contestants, the one who failed was someone who just couldn't get out of their own way.
I think we all tried in all sorts of different ways. We tried to engage her, we tried to support her. I don't think she was willing to take any of it.
I just feel like we failed her.
So for this ceremony, they want to do something a little different. You see, after all the hell that she put the cast and crew through, they don't want to give Crystal the satisfaction of having a Canada's Worst Driver trophy. So instead, they change it to the Final Graduate Trophy. And the final graduate is...
Tyler! Of course it's you, hey? You're not Canada's worst driver, you're Canada's soberest driver, and you're a final graduate. Yeah!
Yep, Tyler is the final graduate. Tyler was an interesting case. At first, his main issue was drinking and driving, but on top of that, he was just a bad driver in general. Although it's undermentioned in the show, Tyler's muscle tissue injury likely plays into the way he drives. Thankfully though, he was receptive to the help he was given, and he honestly deserves to graduate. That doesn't mean he's a good driver, he's just not these two. Now, in the show, it's pretty funny how they handle Daniela. They quite literally just handed her back her license and told her she didn't graduate, but she's free to go.
I'll just skip right to it, Daniela. You're not Canada's worst driver. I'm sorry you didn't graduate, but there's your license back. That's yours. And you can drive home. You're good enough to drive home.
Giving her a nudge to kind of let her sister take over when she gets on the highway. Daniela went out quietly, but she still deserves to be talked about for a bit. Overall, her driving skills have definitely improved. You can tell, but she's got way too big of a phobia of the highway to ever be on one. The help that she needs probably requires a more therapeutic approach than what they do on the show, but you can't expect a TV show to do that. She was an honest highlight throughout the show, even though she didn't graduate.
Like, I'm 30 years old and I can't even go on a highway. Stop.
Congratulations.
Okay, hurry up. Just get it over with.
I'll get it over with.
Okay.
Crystal?
Yep, I'm the worst driver.
It really is sad to see someone constantly choosing again and again to be their own worst enemy. By the end of the show, the host and all the other contestants hated Crystal. Even her own brother was fed up with her by the end, refusing to even drive with her in the last few challenges. Notice how he just kind of disappears halfway through this season?
I'm not driving with you! Good. You're a piece of
Yeah.
Potato.
We just kind of stopped mentioning him. And for what? so she could keep texting on her phone, so she could take selfies. She's incredibly stuck in her ways, despite knowing she has never been taught how to drive. It's sad, especially because she honestly had the best chance to leave early on. There was no overwhelming anxiety that she struggled with or a traumatic brain injury, and even if you really think about it, she probably isn't even the worst driver per se on the show, but she was undoubtedly the most dangerous. It was her attitude and refusal to change that led her here. I think back to earlier in the show when Andrew tells her,
"The way you drive can only be described as the driving of a horrible person."
And then you watch Crystal prove him right every single episode. Her dynamic with Andrew throughout the season is the real reason we wanted to make this video. To see her get chance after chance to improve is maddening. It's like a car crash you can't help but watch. I hope that if you're actually managing to watch till this dumb long into the video, that you can feel this dynamic too. The lesson here is that you can be the absolute worst at something and still improve at it more than you ever expected to. All of these terrible drivers were able to improve drastically with just a little guidance. Crystal is Canada's worst driver, not because she was the least skilled or talented or whatever. Crystal is Canada's worst driver because she failed to grow. And at the very end of the show, Crystal ends up in the same place that she was before, all alone.
Now, I kind of wanted to do like a where are they now segment, but also felt like that was kind of weird. So instead, let's look at how each person rated their experience on the show. I wasn't able to get everyone who was on the show, but here are a few of them. Tyler, Canada's most improved driver, seemed to really enjoy his time on the show through reports. Throughout the show, he was very intentional about improving, and that seemed to come through to local audiences. Local interviews from neighbors of Tyler's and watchers of the show stated, "We watched every single episode, and he did improve. It's great. He needs to know he can do it," which is kind of funny considering that they live right next to the guy. Mike seemed to really enjoy his time on the show, and he also gained a amount of notoriety in his community. He was interviewed after the release of the show, and a lot of his comments were very interesting.
I wasn't a fan, but I had seen a few episodes previous years of my life. They put you in situations where you are kind of, if you're really, really, really good, you'll be fine. There was over 900 applicants for the show. There's a couple people on the show for this 12th season that I don't think they want to be there. But I can't go into details on that. Lou, she's an older lady, the first time licensed driver. She needs the help.
Yeah.
Cody was the first graduate. I'm really upset about that. Crystal is insane. She's the bigger girl with the crazy driving attitude. I go to Walmart, Tim Hortons, local establishments, and people are like, "How come you're driving?"
We couldn't find any information on how Lou felt about being on Canada's Worst Driver, but she's actually pretty active on YouTube and Instagram. She's been on YouTube for over 10 years and still gets like 300 views max, so if you're into tarot cards and things like that, show her some love. She deserves it. I don't really need to tell you that Crystal had a bad time on the show, but what the hell was her deal, right? I guess I owe you an explanation if you've watched this far. Well, in a radio interview, Crystal says, quote, "I think I was the biggest a-hole on the show. I think I clearly struggled on this show with my behavior and my attitude. In that moment, through that experience, everything was difficult because my mental health had dropped to a place that I had never seen before. And it's a TV show, so you film for many hours in the day and show the 5 Her 10 juiciest minutes. Crystal actually took the show as a wake-up call and began to focus more on her mental health. Crystal attributes some of her actions to her undiagnosed borderline personality disorder. Doesn't blame it all on that fact, saying, quote, "I'm not saying that borderline personality disorder is an excuse to drive like an asshole, but it's a large part of why I drove like that. But now I know better, and I can do better." It really seems like she recognized the issue that she was facing. It was just so relentlessly frustrating to witness her again and again throw away every opportunity to change. The TV shows are known to compress hours of footage into a few minutes span. In addition to the claims that the days of filming these episodes were apparently really long, there's an article claiming that filming days could be as long as 16 hours. However, I just would take that with a grain of salt. Even giving a huge benefit of the doubt doesn't help her case. Time and time again, you gave them ammo and then an incentive to use it. Obviously, I don't feel like the crew of the show were malicious in their editing or were pushing to force Crystal to act out, but at the same time, it's a TV show. Literally half the episode is dedicated to your shenanigans. You can tell that she aggravated the crew so much that, hell, I would make a bad edit. Regardless of however many opportunities it took, I'm glad that she eventually turned things around. Now, let's keep in mind that who she was and who these people were in the past don't represent who they are currently. It's been over 10 years since this show was filmed, so all these people are likely to have changed a lot. So if there's anything to take out of this video, it's don't text and drive. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. But if you're actually here and watching it in this video, we want you to know, yeah, here, you can join me here. We really appreciate it. Very, very helpful.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, it means a lot.
It takes forever, and we love you if you watch it.
Yeah, we filmed this stuff a lot, and it took a while to make this video.
We'll read every comment you leave. If you leave one, we'll read it.
Yeah. Promise. Hopefully this video will come out before 2025, 2026.
Ideally, this comes out right before 2026. So here's to a new year.
Yeah.
Of Goofcast.
New year of Goofcast. Thanks for watching, and please comment something. We want to talk to you guys. Like, damn.
Right now, I'm gonna look you in the eye and tell you you're a selfish idiot.